And good afternoon, racing fans. Welcome to Hawthorne Racecourse. This is a Thursday afternoon. We do have live racing later today, but right now, it's the Preakness show. Myself and the Catman, David Kaplan. You are looking spiffy today, my friend.
Just trying to be like you, man. I'm excited to be out here. I love the vibe always out here, and see if we can make a score on the Preakness.
You made a score in the Derby.
I did.
So,
at the exact
did you buy that awesome bag or the sweet shoes you're wearing with your score on the Derby?
I did.
Because you came in, you were looking good. Yeah, it's what, are those Jordans that you're wearing?
These are Jordans.
He's got the Jordans on, so it's like you're ready to hoop it up.
Jordan 11s.
You had the bag that you came in. You just got back from vacation too, man.
I did. I was in Europe.
How good of a Derby was it?
So I'm watching the Derby at O'Hare.
Yeah.
And I had Mage in my tickets,
Yep.
and I'm looking, and please don't let this plane take off exactly on time or I'm going to miss watching the race. And yeah, we'll be delayed about 15 minutes. I'm like, boom.
Perfection.
And then there goes Mage winning the race. So it was a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite days of the year. And now I'm excited for the Preakness.
Yeah, you and I have not had a chance to talk since the Derby, but I'll tell you, we talked going into the race about how Two Phil's had a legitimate shot. He definitely ran that way. I mean, at the top of the stretch, Jareth Ludbury did everything right. They were there all the way to the wire.
I thought Two Phil's was going to win the race, and you and I both had Two Phil's. I did not, and then it ended up getting scratched. I did not have Forte anywhere on my handicapping, and then I wake up to a scratch.
Major news,
what?
Right.
Yeah, we had a number of horses taken down.
Think about that. You started with 23 entering in the race. Usually, sometimes one also eligible gets in. All three got in, and you still only had 18 horses in the race. So it was just one of those things where I think for the future, what we're going to see, Cap, is probably more horses enter, more horses trying to earn points, even if you're on that list of also eligibles, because it gives you that shot to get into the Derby. And there were horses like Mandarin Hero, who was horse number 22, who got bet down, was like the 4th or 5th choice in the race. So these are legitimate race horses with a shot also.
And I looked at Mandarin Hero because of you. When we were here,
I like the horse.
You said that horse can win the race.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Angel of Empire ran a good race there too. But now what happens is you come out of that race, Cap, 17 of the 18 are not running in the Preakness this year.
The only horse on Saturday is going to be Mage, the winner. Everyone else is out.
And you tend to wonder, did they even really want to run in this race? They took about a week to make that decision if they were going to. It wasn't immediate, oh yeah, we're coming back in the Preakness, but it's 2 weeks in between races. It's such a hard stretch just to get into the Derby now because you have to acquire those points. It's why the Derby is a Derby, why it's such a good race there. But you come out of it, 17 of the horses bypass the Preakness. Larry Ravelli said from the start, hey, even if we had won, we probably weren't going to run in the Preakness. You do what's best by the racehorse. So I guess when we start looking at the field here, it's only a field of 8, like you mentioned, Cap. It's a short field. Mage is your morning line favorite. So let's start right there. Mage is lightly raced, only 4 career starts. The most recent start was a victory, though, in the Kentucky Derby. But, man, wheeling back in 2 weeks, what do you do with a horse like this? I think you have to take a stance one way or the other.
Yeah, Mage will not be on my tickets.
Okay.
At 8-5, 15-1, I liked Mage in the Derby, and I had value on my ticket, so Mage was in my tickets, and it happened to end up hitting. If you had said to me before the race, of all your horses, who's going to win it, I would have said to you Two Phil's.
Sure.
We both liked that horse.
Yep.
And we had a deep affinity for Chicago, Hawthorne, Larry Ravelli, who I've owned a horse with.
Yep.
So all of it worked together. And now looking at Mage at 8-5 and probably going to be bet down heavily from that as it's the only horse from the Derby. Yeah, Mage will not be on my ticket.
And that's the thing, and it comes down to value, like you mentioned. At 15-1 in the Derby, there's your value. At 8-5, 7-5 in the Preakness, 2 weeks off a hard-run Derby, you don't have the value there. So I'm right with you.
All right, let me ask you a question. I read an article this morning as I was prepping to come out here that said we have got to have more time between these Triple Crown races. And I completely disagree.
I'm with you.
If you're going to be a legitimate Triple Crown horse, you like Justify, American Pharaoh, Secretariat, or all the way back to Citation and Whirlaway, we're going to do it one way. We're not going to make it easier.
It's not supposed to be easy to win. And that's the thing. And I know trainer tendencies and just horse tendencies throughout the course of the industry have changed over the course of time. The Triple Crown is not supposed to be easy to win. It's the reason why you have 25-year gaps in between Triple Crown winners and the reason why a very special horse that takes to win the Triple Crown because it's winning 3 major races over the course of 5 weeks. Now, I think what you have seen is the perspective of a lot of owners and trainers over the course of time have said, okay, yes, you have the Travers, you have the Haskell, you have all these other derbies leading up through the year, which, again, that makes complete sense. If you're looking to, take that horse to the Breeders' Cup Classic and then you're heading to the breeding shed, that's a whole different story. But I think 3 races within 5 weeks, that's what it's supposed to be. The Triple Crown, I think, is supposed to be hard to win.
Right. It's supposed to be a very special, unique unicorn that does this. Justify was a unicorn. Secretariat is the greatest horse of all time. So, no.
Right, it's there for a reason. That's why you see 17 of the 18 not coming back.
Correct.
So we mentioned Mage. All right, so Mage is a horse that we're going to stay away from a little bit. Now, the horse that's the second choice in the Preakness on the outside is the 8. That's First Mission. This one 5-2 in the morning line. Much like Mage, very lightly raced, only 3 starts on its career. This was the winner, though, of the Lexington in that last out. That was a pretty good effort. The race progression has been pretty good. So what do you make of a horse like First Mission? Again, probably going to be a short price in this field.
Because we don't have just an unbelievable grouping of horses. 5-2 probably goes off shorter than that. Coming off 2 really good workout times, a bullet on the 13th at 59-1, 59-4. I think it's a really, really good horse. I think this horse absolutely can win this race. Is it a legendary horse? No.
Probably not. And you're right, and lightly raced, and we just don't know. Only 3 lifetime starts, and it was the second start that the horse broke its maiden. So, and the first race was against Bishop's Bay, who was a legitimate racehorse, who the horse ran second to. But again, it's going to be a short price. So now you look to the inside with the 1 National Treasure, and this is where things get a little bit more interesting. They wanted to take their shot to try to get into the Derby by switching trainers to try to accrue points in the Santa Anita Derby, and the horse ended up finishing 4th. It wasn't a bad race by any means, and we don't know really how good the race was because Practical Move was a scratch out of the Derby. Skinner was a scratch out of the Derby. Mandarin Hero ran okay, split the field in the Derby. I think National Treasure could be a legitimate racehorse, and Bob Baffert is allowed to run in the Preakness. I think this is the horse that might actually be a play in the race.
This is my pick to win the race. I think it's a really good horse. Go back and look at his workouts. He's got blinkers back on for this race. And I really, really like this horse. I think National Treasure should be the favorite. It's 4-1. If I get 4-1 on my money, I'm gonna be one happy dude.
Here's the thing. Look at the races. All right, your second career start, you're running second to Cave Rock. Then after that, Cave Rock's favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile ends up finishing second. You run third to that horse with Forte, who was going to be the favorite
in the Derby. Correct.
Winning. Then after that, okay, you're a length behind Reincarnate in the Sham, and then you have that 4th place effort, which still, I don't think was a bad effort in the Santa Anita Derby.
Correct.
So this is a horse that I agree with you. I think has a big shot there, and I hope you get that 4-1. Now, while I think that horse is worthy of 4-1, I'm not sure if Blazing Sevens the 7 should be 6-1 or maybe even be a little bit longer in this spot. 6 lifetime starts, comes out of the Bluegrass in that last out, ended up finishing 3rd in there. But you look at the races prior, a well-beaten 4th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile behind Forte, then a really well-beaten last in the in the Fountain of Youth, excuse me. So I don't know what to make of 6-1 on Blazing Sevens.
So I believe it should be longer. But I do like this horse. But it was better as a 2-year-old than it's been as a 3-year-old. It's a deep closer. What type of a pace are we going to get on a track where, I'm not saying this is true, but the reputation is that the track is more tightly banked, and you better be in the right position. If you're back too far, it might be a tough task for this horse to run everybody down.
And that's the thing, you go back to the Derby, 5 horses were up there on a really quick pace. Two Phils was the only one that ran on out of those 5. The other 4 completely backed out of it. A horse like Mage was able to settle back and run late. You're probably not getting that swift of a pace in this race. So because of that, I'm with you. I stayed away from Blazing Sevens in there. Now, you get to some of the bigger prices in this race, Cap, and you look a little bit further. The 5 horse, Red Route 1, is 10-1. Now, this is a horse that finished 6th in the Arkansas Derby, but finished 2nd in the Rebel in the start before. I think they were kind of hoping to try to get into the Kentucky Derby and just weren't able to do so. But then they come back and win the Bathhouse Row at Oaklawn in that last out. And I think this is a horse that, again, has that ability to run some decent races, but such a deep closer, I don't know if they're going to get the right setup.
That's the question. I think that this horse could be in my exotics.
Okay.
100%. But if you look at this, that horse may be too far back early, unless the pace comes back to him.
Right.
And I'm not sure we're going to see that.
No, I don't think the pace is going to come back to him. So that's the reason why I kind of stayed away from that horse. It's also the reason I used a horse like the 4, Coffee with Chris in here. This is a horse that horse has will be on the speed. Lead. I think so.
I agree.
And if you're able to go on the lead, it's either that one or Perform, the 6. Those are the 2 long prices that could be out there, but I don't think they're going to have to go that quickly up front early on. I think they can hang around much of the way, but you might be able to get 24 to the quarter. You might be able to get 48 to the half, and if that's the case, why can't these horses hang around? I think they might be able to, at least for a share.
Correct. Again, my big concern is you can't catch yourself too far back unless that pace comes all the way back to you.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. So pace scenario-wise, here's the way that I'm looking at it, Cap. I think the 4, Coffee with Chris, is going to be out there kind of cruising along on the lead.
Mm-hmm.
I think First Mission maybe tucks him behind, maybe National Treasure. 3, 4, 5 lengths back, comes running at him late. I'm going to go to National Treasure on top as well. First Mission, Coffee with Chris. How are you playing the Preakness?
I am going to have my strong ticket will be on National Treasure to win the race. I am leaving Mage off of my tickets. I am also going to have the 5-horse Red Route 1 and the 8 First Mission, and I'm going to box that up in my tries. I will add on my tries Blazing 7s.
Sure.
But on my exactas, it will be those first 3
Hope for
horses.
A little bit of a price and see if you can luck out.
Correct.
If Mage wins this race, then they have to run in the Belmont, don't you think?
You have to run. How do you not run that horse in the Belmont with a chance to make history? And if Mage wins this race, does it make him a legendary horse? No. He'd have to turn the trick in the Belmont to reach that type of status. I just don't think he's that horse.
And even if he wins that, is he still legendary? I mean, you won a Triple Crown, so I guess so.
If you have Triple Crown next to your name, yes, you're legendary.
Okay.
Especially if you're doing, everyone says it's something we may never see again. It's too hard.
Right.
If he could do 3 races against pretty good competition in 5 weeks, I'll tip my cap.
All right, so it would be a Triple Crown in the first 6 starts. Yeah.
Pretty good.
And then after that, you'd have to see how many more starts they even make the remainder of the year.
If I owned that horse, we're going to the breeding show.
Right. Well, yeah, you're cold.
We're done.
Why not?
Right.
I mean, all right, if you win the Preakness, you win the Belmont, you're what, $4 million in earnings, Triple Crown champ. You're going to make a ton of money in the breeding.
Is there still a bonus to win it?
I don't think so.
There used to be the big, what was it, $10 million bonus?
And then you had the 2 winners really quickly there. I don't think so, but man, you might be right. Or you run like the Haskell, the Travers, the Breeders' Cup Classic, maybe.
And if you don't run well, what do you do to your breeding contracts?
Right.
If I owned that horse, unless my trainer said to me, this horse is the real deal, we didn't know if we'd get there, you got to keep it on the track, then I could be convinced. If my trainer is in agreement, we've seen the best from the horse, there we go.
Man, the breeding suggests he can run all day. I think you're right. I think you'd see a 3-year-old campaign, and that would be it.
That would be it.
So.
And I'm moving on. But his breeding suggests if he wins this race, he's going to be live in the Belmont.
All right, you're a horse owner. So you're in this situation. You have a good 2-year-old campaign. You have a racehorse. You have a portion of a racehorse now.
I do, a son of Curlin.
So if you're in that position, do you run a 3-year-old campaign and say, hey, we're going to sell it and make money breeding?
How good is my horse?
You've won the Triple Crown.
And going into it, that everyone go, that's a legendary horse. Now he's got to show it, but that is the favorite going into the Derby, and we look at it and think we've got Justify?
Yeah.
Whew, that's a great question. My brother and I are partners.
Yeah.
I would probably say to my brother, what do you want to do? I think we should run it as a 4-year-old.
Okay. There's a lot of great older handicap races.
Legendary horse.
Yeah.
If it's Mage, like if our horse is regarded like Mage, no, we're probably going to the breeding
we love
shed.
seeing Zenyatta run throughout the course of her career. Cigar, a horse that ran an extended handicap career, but things have changed. Times have changed a little bit.
Correct.
I hope you're in that position, buddy.
Oh, my goodness. That horse is a 2-year-old right now. It's getting ready to head to...
You're going to Del Mar?
Del Mar.
You're not messing around.
No.
You either go to Del Mar or Saratoga if you think you want to take on the big boys.
We're going to Del Mar. So if if that horse, I think it's leaving next week to be shipped to Del Mar, and then we'll go out there in August. I think will be its first race. If we, my brother called me yesterday. Can you imagine if we're standing there and we've got a 6-length lead in the stretch? Oh my God. So we'll see.
Cap's in a nice spiffy jacket. You got the Jordans on. You know the Derby treated you well. So let's see how the Preakness treats you. So if we're talking in a few weeks about the Belmont, and then we're going to see how August and Del Mar treats you.
I will be.
And then we'll go from there. You're going to be there for the first start, right?
Yeah, I will be there. 100%.
Hoodie might be having to prepare to go solo for a show or two while Cap's out at Del Mar.
Jonathan Hood, my partner.
He's a great guy.
He's the best.
He works his tail off.
Jonathan, I will not be there if our horse is running at Del Mar.
So be prepared. Second week of August, Hoodie, you're going to have a show solo, or it's going to be you and Shay.
Correct.
And that'll be a lot of fun. All right, Cap, let's make some money on National Treasure and the Preakness, and then hopefully we're talking a few weeks about Belmont.
All right, and your ticket is National Treasure.
So I'm going National Treasure.
First Mission,
and Coffee with Chris. Those are the three that I'm
long
using.
Shot.
I'm
Coffee
using
with
those
Chris
three.
is going to be up front.
Yep. I'm going to get a call. I'm definitely getting calls. I think at the top of the lane, this horse is still in the mix. It's a matter of if the horse is still in the mix at the 8th pole or 16th pole.
Correct.
But if it is, it's going to be 20-1, and I'm going to be
there's
happy.
no Secretariat in this race. You got.
No, you're right about that. You're definitely right. Toss the favorite, see if we can make some money, Cap. Best of luck to you, my friend.
You too, my guy.
Good luck to everybody in the Preakness. Hopefully we're talking to you in a few weeks about a Triple Crown contender. We'll see what Mage does in the Preakness on Saturday. Good luck.